Yes. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's TBNR Frags, aka Preston here, and welcome back to a brand new video. I got another vlog for you guys today. I asked on Twitter if you guys would rather see the launch of Preston Commander Season 2 today on Sunday, or if you guys would like to see a vlog of me upgrading my computer, which everybody surprisingly was like, yo, we want to see the vlog. And I feel really bad because I should have filmed me installing my GTX 1080, which I got a few days ago, but I really wanted to get some videos out for you guys because, as you know, I've been moving and sick, and as you can tell, I'm still kind of like sniffly and stuff like that. But I did buy an upgrade for my computer, which I think is kind of a crucial part, because what I've got on it right now is a decent cooler, and what a cooler is it just cools the processor. So it goes on top of it, keeps it nice and cold, so whenever you're playing video games or you're editing videos, basically if you're using anything that is very intensive on your computer, it's gonna make your processor heat up, right? So you wanna make sure it's as cold as can be. Plus, if you wanna do something called overclocking, which is pushing your computer's processor to the limits, it's better to have a better cooler. And the cooler I've got on there works great for now, but whenever I'm like filming sometimes and editing, it like goes really loud. Like the fan is like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this anymore. And I also want to overclock it a little bit higher than what it's at right now. And so I bought this thing. This is basically the poor man's version of a water cooling setup. Now, I don't remember if you guys saw the vlog that I did probably 2 or 3 years ago, but it was where I actually made a custom water cooling loop computer. It was really cool. It was like 2 different parts. I'll try to find it, link it down below in the description if you want to see it, but they've come out with a lot better technology since then. That was still a great water cooling loop for my first time ever doing it, but it's really risky because you have to like let it sit there and run and monitor it for like 24 hours to make sure there's no leaks, and I actually had some leaks in it from like moving and stuff like that. So you have to be really, really careful. But with this guy, it's all closed. It's called a closed loop water cooling setup. So it's basically just, it's 2 120mm fans attached to a CPU cooling block, which we can just install very, very easy. It shouldn't be very long to install. Like this should be like a really easy upgrade. But this is like $100 on Amazon. Like it's so cheap. Computer hardware is so awesome nowadays. Like back in the day, I remember this stuff would be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And it's just like, man, do I really want this upgrade? And trust me, you do. It's really nice. So if you are a big tinkerer with your computers and stuff like that, like I am, then you're definitely gonna wanna upgrade. Because my computer's at like 4 gigahertz right now, which is pretty good. It's the i7 6700K Skylake processor, but I think I could probably push it to like 4.5 on this bad boy. So let's go get to my computer, take it apart, and I can actually show you guys the GTX 1080, which I just installed recently. Actually, I thought I'd bring you guys into my office setup and give you guys a little bit of a quick tour. I'm not going to do like a massive setup or anything like that, but I don't know if you guys have seen it since I've actually updated it, and here's what it looks like right now. Actually, currently I've got my Razer Blade laptop. Razer sent me this like 3 weeks ago, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm actually currently rendering out a Minecraft video in 1080p 60 FPS, and it's only going to take me 34 minutes, well, a little bit longer than 34 minutes, because it's been going now for about 10 minutes. So 44 minutes for a 40-minute 1080p Minecraft video, which is really good. But yeah, shout out to Razer. I've been a big fan of their stuff for ages, as you could tell. I've got the Razer Chroma keyboard. It's the Black Widow Chroma, and then I've got the Razer Chroma mouse. But my computer is off right now. That's why I am rendering off of the laptop, just to save me time. I don't know if this is like super secret or anything like that, or if they don't want me to say, but I'm going to an event tonight out in LA for Titanfall 2, and I don't know if that's Hush Us. I don't think it is, because they said that we were allowed to vlog it, and it's like here in a couple hours. So I'm trying to get a few videos out for you guys today before I leave to that event, because it's like an hour-and-a-half drive there, and then of course it's going to go on for a few hours, and then I got to drive back the same night. So it's going to be a really long evening, but I still wanted to get some videos out for you guys today. Okay, back to the matter at hand, and of course we have the Preston Styles mouse pad. It's actually made for gaming. This is gaming mouse pad material. Mouse pad material. I actually used this material for 6 months before I made it into a gaming mouse pad for my store, just because I wanted to make sure it was like as legit as possible, and it's really, really good for gaming. It's like a soft surface, so I don't know if you like that, but you can check it out down below in the description. And of course we got the microphone, the lights, and then my camera. I've got 2 internet setups right now. I've got Time Warner cable because I was waiting for these guys to come out, Frontier aka Verizon, or I guess it's Verizon aka Frontier. But now we've got to take the tower out, which is off right now, and then make this upgrade possible. So here's my computer in all of its glory. You can literally see my reflection better than you can see what's inside the computer. So let's take off the side panel screws. Whew, there we go. now you can see inside much better. So this is the GTX 1080 that I just installed a few days ago, and every time I unbox computers, man, it never gets old. It's so cool seeing what's on the inside. So this is the CPU cooler I've got on right now. It's a really good one. It's the Cooler Master. I think it's the Hyper TX 12 Evo. I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually ordered this computer. I would have built it myself, but I was trying to save time, so I had it pre-built at Micro Center. But basically, we just gotta take this little guy off of here and then install the new one right there. I'm realizing I say basically a lot in my videos. Please don't hate me. Okay, now we're into a little bit more of the complex stuff. This is like the back plates, which you're gonna need. I may have just undertook a little bit more of a project than I needed to do. Okay. Now that we're inside the box, we've got the two fans which come with it, which are gonna mount at the top of the computer on that little top part right there. And inside of here, we've got a bunch of stuff actually. We've got the back plates. I'll show you what those guys are here in a second. And I think this is pretty much it, but it's almost just like one giant piece. That's what I love about these things. They're super simple and easy, and I'm trying not to break it, but it's just so hard to do with one hand. Ah, there we go. So this is the radiator part of the cooling setup. So there's really multiple parts to a water cooling setup, if I remember correctly. So it's really a cool process because the water basically goes from here. The fans are blowing through the radiator, the copper or metal pipes over here, or not metal pipes, but you know, the radiator fins, right? So the radiator fins are cooling off the water because the fan's blowing on them, and then boom, the cold water goes over here, bam, to your computer, cools it off, and then makes its way back up the other hose, and then just repeats the process over and over again. Okay, this thing is really cool looking once you have it unboxed. Like, it looks awesome. They did a really good job with it. And even the top part, okay, camera, you can focus. I know you can do this. Look at it though, it's so cool looking. This is gonna be a breeze to install. Okay, I say that now, but we actually haven't got to the install yet, so let me just zip my lips. Until you're ready to install, you probably want to keep this plastic plate on. That way nothing gets on the copper down here or on the thermal paste. Now it's onto operation remove this guy. But this should not be very difficult to do. I literally just got these in off of Amazon today. I was like, I bet you guys I'm gonna need some screwdrivers for some projects. And yeah, I definitely needed them. Okay, so I'm removing the fan off of the heatsink right now just so it's easier to get to the screws. These little screws are in 4 different sides of the heatsink, and they're just what screw in this and hold it to the processor. This is where the back plate is. So the heatsink screws into the back plate back here, and that's how it sandwiches together on top of the processor, with the processor right here in the middle. And once all the screws are out, everything should come loose really easy. And bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. Everything comes out A-okay. All right, I got all the nuts off. Now we need to go through the front and try to get these little screws out. We got the back plate off, no damage to the back of the motherboard. And now on the front where the processor is, we got all the 4 little pegs off that were holding it in place. So now we can begin installing the new heatsink. The only thing is that I need to do first is I need to clean this processor off. I'll show you guys how to do that, but this is a bunch of the old thermal paste, and you always want to clean it off whenever you're applying a new heatsink with new thermal paste. All right, we're in my bathroom and it's time to remove the gunk from the CPU. You can just honestly use a really soft paper towel and just start by cleaning off the tops before you need to use any rubbing alcohol. But use rubbing alcohol to get everything off. Just be careful not to get anything on the green part of the microchip if you can. It's just a pain to clean off. Realistically, it doesn't do anything. And you're fine to use rubbing alcohol on pretty much everything. Looking pretty good so far. Much better than it was with all that gross thermal paste. Now I'm just gonna do a quick rubbing alcohol cleanse on this with some paper towels, and then we'll be good to put them back in. And this is what it looks like now that it's been cleaned with the rubbing alcohol. Oh, just beautiful. Just gotta pop them in here, it's super easy. I don't know how I forgot about this, but we should really install the new processor before we begin installing the cooler for the processor, which isn't even installed. We have completed installing the standoffs. Now it's time to get to the fans and the radiator. So we've got screws over here. It looks like the washers. And then we just gotta plop the fans on the radiator and then the radiator onto the top of the computer, which is right here. Step 3's almost been completed. We've got to install the fans now to the radiator. But if you guys look up there, this guy is solid. He's not going anywhere. He's screwed in over here. all the screws are up here on the top, and then this, well, whenever we get these screws over here, this thing goes back on top of here to prevent like dust and certain items from getting into here, like foam pieces and stuff like that, because I'm an idiot and, well, I shipped this computer with foam pieces. So now we gotta mount these two fans using, I'm assuming, the big long screws. So we use these guys right here to screw them in just like so, and then they're gonna go like this. All right, mission accomplished. Radiator is now mounted with the fans. I'm really glad that I didn't get a really big radiator that fit like this entire thing completely, because I don't think it would have fit like right here with all my RAM and stuff like that. I would have been a little bit worried, but man, this is taking a lot longer than I thought it was. It's well worth it, hopefully, if the computer still works when we turn it on. Step number 4, we finally get to install the pump, which is this guy to the processor. So that event I was supposed to go to for Titanfall 2 actually did end up happening. I stayed home to work on the computer, so now I need to go write an apology email and let them know that I was really busy. Plus, I'm still sick, and I don't know if honestly if I wanted to go there and spend like 3 or 4 hours driving plus 2 or 3 hours at the event and risk the chance of getting other content creators sick. It might not be the best idea. So maybe it's a good thing I stayed home and worked on this computer. But I made some mistakes, but they are now rectified. I actually had Paige's dad and brother come over here and help me out because I kind of goofed up that bad. So what I did that I didn't realize that I did, I'll show you. So you see that standoff right there? And do you see how the right side is bigger than the left side by quite a bit? So I put those screws inside of here and totally messed it up, and they got stuck and jammed. So I had to have somebody on the other side of the computer and then me right here unscrewing them, and then I got them out and put the right stand-ins in, and then I screwed on the caps you can see right there. Oh, I'm trying to point, but I'm also trying to light it at the same time. Boom, those things right there I installed, and now she is pretty much all good to go. I've wired her up. I know my wiring job is terrible, but honestly my computer's got so much space, the airflow is just fine. I'm not worried about it at all. So we are gonna boot this girl up for the first time with the water cooling and see if she purrs. So far, so good. Everything is turning on. You can see that this thing is lighting up, which is a good sign, which means that the pump and reservoir are getting power circulating through it. Also, you can feel these right here, and if they feel like they're vibrating or something's moving forward, then they're obviously being powered. And I can feel the water right now being pumped in and out of this stuff. So that's really good. And you can see both the fans are moving. I got this fan moving back here. I wanna make sure everything's working and the graphics card is moving. Oh, that 1080, beautiful, beautiful. So everything seems to be working. Before we can say everything is working is obviously replug everything back up, but no water is leaking or anything like that. It shouldn't, it's a closed cooling loop. But I really like Corsair's closed water cooling loop. This is my first one I've used so far. I haven't checked the temperatures yet, but the installation process, if I didn't screw up and have that one previously installed on it, it would have been a breeze. It would have taken me like maybe 15-20 minutes, and that's doing it by myself. So let's go hook her up, check the temperatures out, and hope that she's all working good. Okay, I know it looks really weird right now because you guys are looking at a camera at the computer, but look at this. So this is the temperature right now of my CPU. This is the temperature of my computer right now, or my processor rather, 24 degrees Celsius. That is freezing. Of course, it's idle, which means it's not doing anything right now, like it's not rendering anything, but that is still really good. And my processor's running at 4.2 gigahertz, which I think we can get it up to like 4.7, 4.8, and still have a really low CPU temperature, which means we can overclock it and do really cool things. So that's all we needed to see to make sure that everything was working. Alright, it's been tons of fun doing this video, but it took way longer than I expected. It took like 2 or 3 hours, and I was expecting it to take maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes at the maximum, but that was kind of my own doing. I screwed up and didn't install the right standoffs. I barely read the installation manual whenever I was doing this. I always do that. It's like a super bad habit. I feel like it's just like a total guy thing to do, but especially a Preston thing to do. And I don't know if you guys find these types of videos interesting or even entertaining. At the very least, I hope you do, but like for some reason, I'm just a big tinker. I've been building computers since I was 12 years old. I'm 22 now. Built my first one, like I said, when I was 12. And I just love building computers, upgrading them. I love hardware, and I'm just a big nerd. Like, that's really all it is whenever it comes down to it at the end of the day. I'm just a massive nerd, and I like sharing my nerding experiences with you guys. Like, whenever I buy new computer parts, or if I do a new computer project, like, it's just fun to vlog it and show you guys, like, the process kind of step by step. So let me know if you guys like these kinds of videos and stuff like that by leaving a like down below, or just a comment saying so. I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. Don't worry, Preston to Command. Season 2 will be starting tomorrow. Have Have an awesome day, everybody. Take care, and I will see you guys and gals next time. Trent, why am I so dumb? I love you. Whew, and that is a wrap.